Italy, a country that needs no introduction, home to ancient ruins, Renaissance masterpieces, postcard-perfect villages, and sunsets that stop time. A country that feels alive at every corner, from Venice's floating streets to Florence's golden sunsets, Pisa's leaning tower to Cinque Terre's cliffside villages, and Rome's eternal ruins. Every city is a story waiting to be lived.
Buongiorno, benvenuti a Venezia.
Benvenuti alle Cinque Terre, benvenuti a Rio Maggiore.
Questo è buono.
In this video, we are taking you on our full 9-day journey through Italy. The real experiences, iconic sites, and the unforgettable moments that don't always make the guidebooks. If you are dreaming of wandering Italy's streets, this is a journey to see, feel, and fall in love with. We have detailed, dedicated videos for each of these places, which I will also link in the description for a deeper dive. Let's step in and explore Italy. We took an overnight flight from Toronto to Venice and reached in the morning. Venice is super well connected. Whether you're flying in, catching a train, or arriving by road from elsewhere in Italy or Europe, you'll get here easily. Behind, you can see that red building. That is our Hotel San Jeremia. Checked into our hotel, dropped our bags, and without wasting a moment, we hit the streets. Our first afternoon in Venice began at the quiet majesty of Santa Maria Gloriosa di Fiori. Its soaring Gothic walls echoing centuries of devotion. Just next door, Scuola Grande di San Rocco dazzled us with Tintoretto's breathtaking canvases, every corner glowing like a chapter in history. From there, we wandered to San Toma, where we crossed the Grand Canal the way locals have for centuries. A very short 2-minute ride, but well worth the experience. The traghetto experience was very nice.
Great experience.
Paying a fraction of the gondola cost, and it's pretty popular, trust me. As twilight softened the lagoon, we strolled through Campo Santo Stefano. Then, Cicchetti time. Think of it as Venice's version of tapas. This is a very special Venetian dish, like small sandwiches with toppings. Tiny, flavorful bites usually served at little bars called baccari. Pair that with an Aperol Spritz. Bright orange, bubbly, slightly bitter, totally refreshing. And you've officially entered Italian aperitivo hour. It's not just about food and drink, it's a lifestyle, a ritual. A pause in the day that says, life's good, let's not rush. Then over to Academia Bridge, Venice's rooftops glowing under the golden hour. Right beside the bridge is the Academia Gallery. Famous for its artworks, the Academia Gallery, you can see the huge lineup, so get your tickets well in advance. Here we got our Vaporetto, 1-day pass, and then came one of my favorite moments, drifting down the Grand Canal. Venice's palaces floating by like brush strokes on a moving canvas. And then, there it was, the Rialto Bridge, arched high above the Grand Canal, with tourists leaning on its balustrades and gondolas sliding below. Whether you see it at sunrise, sunset, or in the middle of a bustling afternoon, it hits. The most popular, the most photographed, the most touristy and everything, Rialto Bridge, because you get the views, which are $1 million. And just take a moment. You're here, you made it to Venice. Pizza for our first dinner in Italy. And they eat it with fork and knife. But I can vouch for the taste, it's too good. Next morning, we boarded the number 1 Vaporetto line and let Rick Steve's audio guide carry us through the Grand Canal, each palace and bridge unfolding like a living history book. From San Zaccaria, we sailed for 45 minutes across the lagoon until the rainbow facades of Burano rose before us. A village so colorful it feels painted by joy itself. After wandering Burano's canals, we returned to Venice and escaped the crowds by slipping into Caia the narrowest alley in the city, where walls nearly touched our shoulders. From there, we stumbled upon the whimsical Libreria Acqua Alta, a dream for book lovers and Instagrammers alike. Books stacked in gondolas and even staircase made of books,
the cutest and most beautiful library.
A few narrow lanes later, we reached one of Venice's best kept secrets, the spiral staircase.
Scala Contarini del Buvolo.
It twists upward like something from a fantasy novel. We didn't climb it this time because our sunset view was booked elsewhere. Venice's heart, Piazza San Marco, beneath the campanile and domes, time seemed to stand still. We saw from a distance the Bridge of Sighs, imagining the whispered prayers of prisoners long ago. We had pre-booked our climb to St. Mark's Campanile, the iconic bell tower that defines the Venice skyline. There's only one way up, the elevator thankfully, and let me tell you, at golden hour, from the top, you see it all. Domes glowing in the soft evening light, terracotta rooftops fading into the lagoon, and the entire city laid out like a dreamscape. It's a moment that freezes in your memory forever. Today, we woke up early, before the tour groups, before the selfies. Our final morning, we caught one last traghetto ride from San Toma, savoring the rhythm of daily life on the water. We paused for a quick espresso at a small neighborhood bar with a cute buongiorno.
Buongiorno. Benvenuta a Venezia.
By 9:30, it was time for our pre-booked entry into St. Mark's Basilica, where golden mosaics shimmered across every wall, and the Pala d'Oro gleamed with jewels fit for an emperor. Although we didn't get time to visit the Doge's palace, it's a masterpiece of Venetian Gothic grandeur.
Ciao, arrivederci Venice. We are off to Florence now.
We walked back slowly to Santa Lucia station, rolling our suitcases across the same bridges that had once felt like an obstacle, but now, weirdly, felt comforting. We boarded the Frecciarossa, a high-speed train from Venice, its sleek red carriages whisking us away through the Tuscan countryside. By late afternoon, we arrived in Florence. As soon as you step out of the station, you are greeted by Santa Maria Novella, the first great basilica of the city, lending its name to the station itself. The skyline here is unmistakable.
And what comes to your mind when you talk about Florence? Well, that's exactly what it is. Duomo and the Giotto's bell tower.
The Duomo pretty much dominates the Florentine sky. You can see it from everywhere. It's breathtaking.
Goes without saying, this was the first destination for us.
After checking into our hotel and dropping our bags, we let our feet lead us into the heart of Florence. We wandered first into Piazza della Repubblica. Then came the bronze wild boar, Il Porcellino. Legend says it, if you rub its snout, you'll return to Florence one day.
Happy?
From there, the path opened into Piazza della Signoria.
And that's the Arnolfo Tower. This is the Piazza della Signoria. Behind me is the open gallery where you have so many different sculptures. And this also has the Uffizi Gallery. You have a replica of David right here. So you can go to Accademia Gallery to see the original, but outside there is a replica of David as well. And also this houses the Arnolfo Tower.
At the piazza, David's replica stands there, bold and watchful. And the Palazzo Vecchio anchors it all. Nearby, Neptune rises in marble waves. We walked past the columns of the Uffizi Gallery from outside. As golden hour crept in, we caught a distant view of Ponte Vecchio.
One of the most beautiful bridges.
The Arno quietly holding up like a reflection from another century. As golden hour approached, we climbed the Piazzale Michelangelo, where Florence unveiled herself in the most stunning sunset.
So it's roughly a 25 minutes walk to the Piazzale Michelangelo.
The city bathed in amber and rose, every dome and tower shimmering like a dream. Florence at sunset is kind of a spell. The dome, the river, the rooftops, they don't move, but somehow you do. Returning across the beautifully lit Arno, Florence felt like a city in love with its own reflection. At night, it becomes magic. And with a cup of Itinerary famous gelato in hand, that magic tasted even sweeter. The next morning began at Mercato Centrale, where the air was rich with the smell of fresh bread, truffles and Tuscan olive oil. When in Florence, this is one of the hub of good food, fresh meat, local produce. Don't miss out on shopping the best handmade leather stuffs, jackets and bags made with care, the kind that lasts a lifetime. Then came rain, but Florence in the rain doesn't turn grey, it softens into a watercolor painting. Umbrellas bloom like flowers across cobbled streets and the city shimmered with reflections. We joined the long line at the cathedral, the Duomo itself, and slowly entered its vast marble embrace. The Duomo, officially known as the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, was engineered by Filippo Brunelleschi in the 15th century, a feat so revolutionary it changed the course of architectural history. The Florence Duomo is not just one monument, it's an entire sacred complex. At its heart is Brunelleschi's dome, flanked by Giotto's bell tower and the baptistry of San Giovanni. There are a few ticket options to choose from. Outside, the gates of paradise glowed with golden panels.
It started raining, unfortunately. We wanted to go to the Arnolfo Tower, but doesn't look like it's going to be possible today. Let's get into the bridge, which actually houses lots of shops.
We walked through historic Ponte Vecchio today with our ponchos on. Shops glimmered with gold like little treasure chests. A short walk led us to Casa Dante, tucked away in a quiet lane.
The writer of Divine Comedy, Italy's Renaissance time greatest poet, philosopher and author.
Nearby, I bit into a lampredotto sandwich. Rustic, rich, pure Florence.
Oh my god, that's a work of art.
From Florence, if you are not my brother.
And just beside it, one of the city's wine windows. A tiny portal into history. Lampredotto sandwich. Oh, amazing. Now it's time for some wine.
We came now to taste Florence's most famous tiramisu, and that's at Pompeii. We are done with our Florence experience. It was very fast, very quick.
We could prioritize one short side trip to Pisa. A short train ride just an hour away to visit the iconic Leaning Tower. It still rained when we reached Pisa in the early evening. We stayed very close to the Leaning Tower. And then we saw the Leaning Tower by night. It was all to ourselves. A dream come true for me. Next morning was another vantage sighting of the Leaning Tower. It was magical, almost ethereal.
Right in front of the beautiful, beautiful Torres di Pisa, or the Leaning Tower of Pisa. And make sure that you visit this place very early in the morning, because right now we have the entire place to ourselves.
And it's not just about the Leaning Tower. They call it Piazza dei Miracoli, or Square of Miracles, a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You've also got the stunning Cathedral of Santa Maria and the Grand Baptistry of St. John, all lined up like a postcard. Together with the Camposanto Monumentale, this harmonious cluster of medieval buildings forms one of the most magnificent architectural settings in the world. But travel is movement, and so we moved on. Our taxi carried us to Pisa Centrale, where another train awaited. Ahead lay the Ligurian coast, and beyond it, the painted villages clinging to the cliffs. Cinque Terre was calling. Cinque Terre is a string of 5 fishing villages: Riomaggiore, Manarola, Corniglia, Vernazza and Monterosso al Mare. The Cinque Terre train runs like a heartbeat through the cliffs, connecting every village in minutes. We arrived at La Spezia, the gateway to Cinque Terre, where we purchased our train day pass. By morning we were in Riomaggiore, our chosen home out of the Cinque Terre villages. The southernmost of the five, its pastel houses tumbled down toward the sea like brushstrokes on a canvas. We dropped our bags and boarded the train north to Monterosso al Mare, the largest and flattest of the five towns. If you are looking for the beach vibes, umbrellas dotting the sand, this is the place.
Monterosso stopped the first of the five villages.
At the northern tip of its beach, the giant stone figure of Il Gigante rose like a guardian of the coast. From there we wandered past the Aurora Tower along a cliffside path into the old town where cobbled streets led us through cafes, shops and the quiet beauty of the church of San Giovanni Battista. It was here that I remembered how Disney Pixar's Luca found its inspiration, because whether it's Monterosso or Vernazza, the magic feels almost too perfect to be real. Instead of taking the train south to Vernazza, we chose the Blue Trail, a rugged path winding along terraces of olive groves and wildflowers. It tested our steps but rewarded our souls. And then, like a secret unveiled, Vernazza appeared. Terracotta rooftops stacked like puzzle pieces, a tiny harbour dotted with boats, and Doria Castle keeping eternal watch. It was no wonder this was one of Italy's most photographed places. This town's main path guides you down, going past gelato shops and colourful stores. Once at the harbour, you get the prettiest views, the best swimming spots, the fishing boats, the soft bustle of the square. As the day softened, we returned to Riomaggiore and set out once more, this time along the legendary Via dell'Amore, the path of love carved into the cliffs. To walk it is to walk between sea and sky, with nothing but beauty to distract you. Hand in hand with the sea, it carried us towards Manarola. At Manarola, on a ledge near Nesundorma, we watched the village dissolve into gold as if the entire coast was holding its breath for the sunset. Day 2 brought clouds, the kind that deepen colors and soften noise. After seeing the sunny side of Cinque Terre yesterday, today's relief of the overcast condition, the cloud, the sky is making it look even prettier. We walked the Via dell'Amore one more time, this time heading for the one village we had not yet met, Corniglia. Perched high above the sea, it demanded a climb. The La Verina stairs, a winding flight of nearly 400 steps.
Reached the top.
At the top, Corniglia felt different from its sisters, with narrow lanes, ancient stone corners, and a pace that dares you to slow down. There is no rush here, just beauty and stillness. And as if to gift us a closure, Riomaggiore gave us one last masterpiece, a sunset so rich, so golden, it felt like it had been painted just for us. We grabbed a pizza, sat at the harbour steps and watched the sky fold into night.
The marquee Riomaggiore views.
The sea burned with fire, the sky melted into shades of orange and rose, and for a moment the world was still. Later that night we boarded the train back to La Spezia. Ahead of us lay the final chapter of our Italian adventure, Rome. Pulling into Roma Ostiense, the city welcoming us with the hum of history.
This is our hotel, Hotel Nova Domus. And from here it's just a 10 minutes walk to the Vatican City Museum.
We walked from our hotel near Vatican City to join the line stretched before the Vatican museums. Unfortunately, our skip the line tickets had been cancelled for a ceremony with the newly appointed Pope. The Vatican museums are not merely halls of art, they are a sacred labyrinth. We began at the Pinecone Courtyard, then moved into the octagonal courtyard facing the Belvedere Torso, a fragment of perfection that shaped Renaissance ideals. The tapestry room felt like stepping into woven scripture, every thread alive with devotion. In the gallery of maps, Italy's landscape stretched before us like a cartographer's dream, but it was Raphael rooms that held our breath. In the rooms of Signatura, philosophy and faith collided. Plato and Aristotle stood beneath an imagined dome in the famed school of Athens. At the journey's end, we reached the Sistine Chapel, where Michelangelo had painted heaven itself onto a ceiling. Every brush stroke spoke of eternity. Leaving the chapel, we circled the Vatican walls to St. Peter's Basilica and began our climb to the cupola. From the dome's outer rim, Rome stretched endlessly in every direction. Pole-tipped churches, terracotta roofs, and the ruins refusing to vanish. Descending into the Basilica's vast embrace, we saw Bernini's bronze baldachin, twisting like divine vines towards heaven. Just beneath it lay the tomb of St. Peter, grounding the majesty of centuries in silent reverence. Our first day in Rome turned out to be our first day in Vatican City. So we did the Vatican Museum in the morning, followed by the dome climb. The wind carried centuries, and I knew it had consecrated it. Today we'll try to be at the Piazza Navona, Pantheon, Castello di San Angelo. Be prepared for a lot of long walks. Like you'll easily have almost 20,000 steps. We crossed the Tiber River toward Piazza Pia and Castel San Angelo. Its cylindrical walls guarding stories of emperors and popes alike. At Piazza Navona, time seemed to pause. The square opened like a theatrical stage where fountains danced, artists painted, and life slowed to the rhythm of Bernini's Fountain of the Four Rivers. This is one of the obelisks out of 13 in Rome.
On our way to the Pantheon.
Pantheon, a temple turned church, untouched by time. The Pantheon is nearly 2,000 years old. Its dome remains the largest unreinforced concrete dome in the world. The oculus at the top, well, nearly 30 feet wide. Raphael rests here, silent witness to the ages. We wandered to Largo di Torre Argentina, the site of Julius Caesar's assassination. Then into the Jewish ghetto. This small district holds centuries of pain and resilience. Its narrow lanes held layers of resilience, history, and soul. Some plaques line the cobbled streets, engraved with the names of those deported during the Nazi occupation. Every single house of the Jewish ghetto, you basically be seeing people whose plaques are there, the golden brass plaques.
I'm feeling bad for the Jewish, Romani, and disabled people that died in concentration camps.
So immediately after the Jewish ghetto, you will head out straight to the Teatro Marcello, often mistaken for the Colosseum's little brother. So guys, after Teatro Marcello, we are now off to Campidoglio. That pretty much lies next to the Vittorio Emanuele monument as well. Designed by Michelangelo himself, a square sculpted like a stage set for gods. As golden hour approached, we hailed a cab to Pincian Hill, where the sun melted into the rooftops of Piazza del Popolo and Rome glowed like a city caught between dreams and memory. On day 3, we stepped into the heart of ancient power. Built in 80 AD under Emperor Vespasian, the Colosseum once seated over 50,000 spectators. We just took the general timed entry ticket. I am more than certain that this is possibly the best ticket that you can get. You don't need to go all the way to the attic. You get the second floor, you get this floor, the first floor, from where you get excellent view of the underground, as well as the same view that you get from the arena entry. With the general Colosseum ticket, you also get within 24 hours entry to the Roman Forum.
the Palatine Hill, and the Roman Forum followed, each stone whispering stories of ambition, triumph, and tragedy.
Top of the Palatino Hill, what you get to see will simply be in your memory forever. In one side you see Colosseum, and then you see the vast Roman Forum. So come to Palatino Hill to really ingest the whole feel of the Roman Forum.
We finally got our Rome magnet.
Tucked within the tight weave of Rome's streets, we heard it before we saw it. A rush of water, a gasp of wonder. The Trevi Fountain, standing 26 meters tall and 49 meters wide. It is Rome's grandest fountain. We tossed coins, a promise to return, and let the magic of golden hour wrap Rome in honeyed light. Our day ended at the Spanish Steps, where time seemed to sit still and the city's heartbeat slowed beneath us. Late at night, we took the metro from Spagna to Cipro, returning to our hotel for the final night in Rome. Of course, no Roman journey is complete without indulging in its iconic flavors. We tasted the soul of the city, from a creamy pesto pasta,
Incredibly fresh, loving it.
to a classic, rich, comforting risotto that felt like a Roman hug in a bowl. Carbonara?
Yes,
Finally! Our final morning arrived too quickly. We packed, checked out, and began our journey to Fiumicino Airport. As the plane lifted off, Italy receded beneath us, a mosaic of cities, coastlines, and sunlit rooftops, each moment etched into memory. Italy is a journey that lingers in the heart, from Venice's watery streets to Florence's golden sunsets, Pisa's miraculous square, Cinque Terre's cliffside villages, and Rome's eternal power. Every step was a story, every sight a memory, and as the plane soared home, I carried Italy not in photos or souvenirs, but in the quiet, unshakable rhythm of my own heartbeat.
Arrivederci Italy, arrivederci Roma. If you like this video,
Please like and subscribe.
to Notes of Travel. Till we meet again.
Keep exploring.